G'day folks, welcome to the end of turn 2 in this first scenario from Assault on Gallipoli. Now, not quite the end of turn 2, I've stopped it here because we're about to go into the close combat phase. Now this happened at the end of the last video, but it was right at the end, so I thought I'd stop here and focus this video, relatively short video, just on how the combat phase works. To recap what's happened, and it's really hard to track the back and forth because it's such a fast moving game and very low downtime. So you move sort of one counter, then the opponent gets a turn, and you're constantly shifting back and forth. But basically, Ottoman forces very quickly move to defend Third Ridge. You can see a big stack here because the New Zealanders and Australians on Second Ridge were poised to capture that, and that's worth 2 victory points. And I think that would have guaranteed the Anzacs, or the Allies, victory. So the Ottoman forces rushed to defend this, which kind of deterred the Allies from moving into that. Instead, they potted away with what artillery they have, and then Australian reinforcements arrived, and they used some manoeuvres to get up here into Chinook Bair. That then provoked an Ottoman response, and you can see how Ottoman forces have rushed into Chinook Bair. Now there are no trenches here, but the Australians have taken a bit of a beating in this area. They've also moved up onto Rhododendron Ridge up here. They've held Russell's Top barely, got some artillery up on Walker's Ridge, and they've moved critically into Scrubby Knoll up here, where I think they will have a slight advantage over the Ottoman forces. So there's going to be 2 close combats, one here and one here. New Zealanders moved up next to Third Ridge, and they've been firing into, causing, I think there's some Ottoman remnants here. I'm sure there was, maybe I was mistaken. I thought they caused some losses, maybe not. And then some other Ottoman forces just beyond, just sort of machine gun nest, artillery holding that ground out there. So Ottoman forces came on from the southeast and they rushed up to that Third Ridge. As I said, now at the close combat phase, so let me show you how it works. And we'll do a small combat. Well, the Ottomans hold the morale advantage, so they can decide what they resolve first. And maybe they'll do this one. They'll try and draw out some Australian action cards, if any relate to close combat. So that's a leader, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 2 is 12 plus 1 for that leader. So we'll get 12 Ottoman cards. Okay, there we go. I've got my commanders helping me again. And then over here we have got Monash. Now, Monash is a very important Australian leader. He went on to command the Australian Corps and played a really critical role in driving Allied success, Australian success in particular, in 1918 on the Western Front. So 1, 2, and then we have 2 remnants. So the Australians get 4 cards plus 2 for Monash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the Australian commander. The Australian commander is indicating they have a card they want to play. What have you got there? An extra 2 cards in 1 close combat. Nice work, Australian commander. That brings them up to 8. And now we the Turks are actually the attacker here, I think. I think the Australians moved in to an empty Chinook Bair, and the Ottoman forces counterattacked. So I think the Ottoman forces play the first card. All right, so let's. The Australian commander isn't going to look, and we're going to look at what we've got here. So we'll try and sort these out into their types. They want to lead with a bayonet charge. All right, so Ottoman forces leading the attack with a bayonet charge. And the Australians counter that, and they roll to seize the initiative. And they're 3 or less there. Hold on, so plus Monash, so 5 or less. The 7 is a failure. So back to the Australians now. Okay, they play an ambush. the Australian response is no reserve cards, no ambush, no reserve cards. Nope, they're saying shaking their head no. So the Ottomans win combat. Okay, so the Australians lose 2 casualties, and I think they can take it both from their remnants. They've got 2 remnants there, which was convenient. So it's handy to have those convenience there in that close combat. The card that won is just a basic ambush card. Some of these cards I'll point out cause additional casualties. For example, the creeping barrage will cause an additional this one loser increases casualties. There's another one, it's creeping barrage, I think it's raid, I think. Is it raid? Yes, raid reduces casualties by 2. So sometimes I modify casualties. So the Turks don't suffer any casualties, the Australians suffer 2, which are taken from their remnants, and now they can retreat 1 or 2 spaces. They're going to retreat back to Battleship Hill to try and sever. You can see they're kind of trying to sever communication with the Ottoman forces, cut off that baby 700 and the chessboard from the rest of the Ottoman positions. Next close combat is over here in Scrubby Knoll. Now, I think the Australians have an advantage here. Let's see what they've got. They've got General Bridges. He's charged ahead. So 1, 2, 3. And they choose Bridges 4. So they'll get. Sorry, my apologies. 1, 2, 3. Double is 6. Plus 1 is 7. 7 cards for the Australians. And 4, 5, 6. This could be a very close battle. 7 for the Australians. 6 for the Ottoman forces. 7 for the Australians. 6 for the Ottomans. Seven for the Australians, 6 for the Ottomans. Now I think in this case the Ottomans were there already, so the Ottomans are defending and the Australians attack first. Again, we'll give you the Ottoman perspective on things. The Australian commander isn't going to look. Okay, and the Australian commander will lead things off with a bayonet charge. We will counter that and we'll try to roll. Now the Ottoman commander is a +2, so 5 or less to seize the initiative. Oh, that's an important die roll. Okay, so we have the initiative now. How would the Ottoman commander like to approach? Alright, we're going to launch an ambush. They counter that. Now they have Bridges, who provides a +1 modifier, so they will counter, seize initiative on a 4 or less. Oh, they just miss out. How does the Ottoman commander want to approach now? Alright, we're going to infiltrate. Infiltrate is matched. Again, they try to seize initiative. They need a 4 or less, the Australians. Nope. Alright, still Ottoman initiative. Alright, we're going to play raid. Now this card will reduce losers' casualties by 2 damage points if it ends on this. But, here we go, they have a raid. So again, so that's a close battle. 4 or 5 or less? No, 4 or less, because they're the Australians. Sorry, just missed out again. 2 cards left for the Ottomans. We're going to try and ambush. Oh, the Australians have a reserve. 4 or less again to seize initiative. Oh, they succeed. They've got 2 cards left. They play a bayonet charge, which we can't match. So the Australians narrowly defeat the Turks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds of combat. The Turkish forces are battered. They're all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the Australians lose 2 casualties. So we can turn... I like that unit. So I'm going to turn this into a remnant for 1 and then remove that remnant for 2 and keep these guys on Scrubby Knoll. So we now have, let's check our victory point objectives here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 1 more objective for an Anzac victory. Thank you. And folks, that is the end of combat. That is the end of the second turn. So I just wanted to focus this video on that close combat to demonstrate how it worked. Again, it featured at the end of about an hour into the last video I did, but I wanted to do a short video just demonstrating how close combat worked. Thank you to my commanders for their help. Doing a great job helping me with the sort of secrecy around these close combat cards. We now check victory conditions. It's 6-5, so no automatic victory yet. Incidentally, there was a point here where Anzac Cove was kind of left open and the Ottomans were looking for ways to get through, and they came pretty close to almost sneaking through onto Anzac Cove and securing an automatic victory. The Australians do need to watch this position here because there's an event card that came up, this hidden gully, which lets you move across a red line, which is interesting. So you've got to be aware of that in the deck. In fact, that's how the Australians got up onto Chinook Bair. Check victory conditions and move the marker to the next turn. So we're heading into turn 3, but I'll pause it here. Thanks everyone for watching and take care. And just a reminder, this is Assault on Gallipoli. Check out the unboxing, which has a link to the designer's email where you can contact him to get a pre-order. Thanks all.